Time to drop our sack, touch our bags, and get you to this mailbag edition of Ravens Rundown powered by Chat Sports. I am Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. And on today's show, we will answer your news and rumors mailbag questions with the latest on your Baltimore Ravens after OTAs, just prior to minicamp. We will go over everything you need to know, what's on the minds of the flock on today's show, coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, for the best Ravens coverage you won't find anywhere else, you got to subscribe to the channel. You may be saying to yourself, how am I going to be a part of a mailbag in the future? Well, if you subscribe, you can get your questions in, and we will include you in our next mailbag here on the program. Subscribe for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. All June long, we are battling the Browns Report, led by Matthew Peterson, and the de facto leader of the dog pound, if you will. But the guy, I mean, he's not good to dogs. He's not like Michael Vick bad, but he's not a great dog owner, I'll tell you that much. So let's stick it to him and show who's boss. Subscribe now for free and join the family and make sure we win this sub battle to show why we have the best fans in the AFC North and across the National Football League. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. Kendrick Lamar, how's the battle going with Drake these days? I haven't kept up, to be honest with you. I don't know where things are going with that. But I would be rooting for Kendrick if I had to choose between one of the two. Hopefully I don't get sacrificed at the altar for saying that to some of the flock out there, but you get the idea. How is Rashad Bateman looking this offseason? Do the Ravens need to add another receiver? Well, Kendrick, glad you asked. Rashad Bateman, all indications are that he has looked very good in OTAs and the offseason program, and everything we've heard has been positive, from Todd Monken to John Harbaugh, even the defensive side. You heard Nate Wiggins say a couple of days ago that Rashad Bateman is the hardest receiver to cover on this Ravens team of what he's dealt with in the few practices so far at this point. And you look at Rashad Bateman's situation. We discussed this on the channel a couple days ago. That 3-year, $15 million contract that he is on, his second contract with the Ravens. My hope is that Rashad Bateman can turn into a fantastic number 2 receiver, and that he can stay healthy, and then you're getting your bang for your buck on that 3-year, $15 million contract. But even if, let's just say he's, as the kids say, mid, you'll still gladly pay him just $5 million a year on that front. Now, the other part of your question, do the Ravens need to add another receiver? I think they do. I would like to see one more piece added involved here. And you think about this, if an injury happens, then you're really shorthanded at this receiver position. You're one injury away from all hell breaking loose of a shortage that would be worse than the supply chain shortage we saw during COVID for this Ravens team. So, yes, I would hope that they go get another receiver, whether that be through free agency or trade. I hope it happens. I know the Ravens don't have a ton of money to spend necessarily, but I'm optimistic that there will be another receiver added before it's all said and done. Our pin comment today, should the Ravens sign another wide receiver? You got two options here. You can type Y for yes, or you can type N for no. It's up to you. I will not judge based on your answer. Let us know. Y for yes, N for no. Jim Carrey writes in, no man, no man, no man. That might be the best Jim Carrey movie. Yes, man. The question coming in from Jim Carrey writes about Marlon Humphrey. Will Marlon Humphrey still have a starting role in the Ravens defense this year? Jim Carrey, I'm glad you asked that question. As far as a starting role goes, so you look at this corner room, a lot of depth, right? When you bring in Nate Wiggins with that first-round pick, Brandon Stevens is coming back. You got Marlon Humphrey there. You drafted T.J. Tampa. You got some pieces to work with this group there that the Baltimore Ravens have. And Marlon Humphrey, I know that he's on the back end of his prime now, but he is still the one with the best resume among this group. And I do think he starts. Maybe we see Brandon Stevens or Nate Wiggins emerge and surpass him later on down the road or something. That could certainly happen. But at least for now, Marlon Humphrey is still going to hold on to that spot. And even if, let's just say, Wiggins and Stevens ball out, you're still going to see Marlon Humphrey on the football field in a significant way. Maybe down the road he's not a starter, quote unquote, but he's potentially, if he were to get passed up by those two, he would then be the best backup outside corner in the league. So he'll play a role in this defense one way or the other. I think he still starts, but I'm not worried about that. The main thing is you want to play all of these guys and make sure they're all involved in this secondary and rotate things. And I think Zach Orr's got a plan. John Harbaugh and company, they're going to get the most out of this group. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. You're going to see this team win a lot of games because of what their secondary is going to deliver. And that's just the corner spot. I haven't even talked about the safety position with Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. And I'm expecting a big year from Kyle Hamilton. I think he's got a shot to be Defensive Player of the Year. How would you grade the Ravens secondary? A, B, C, D, or F? There's no Fs involved here. We don't give any Fs here. You see what I did there? I got to go A, personally. I think it's the best secondary in the league. What do you guys think? Grade it for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Next one from Ravens Superfan writes in, how do you feel about Trenton Simpson replacing Patrick Queen? So, full disclosure here. When Patrick Queen left town and went to the arch-rival Pittsburgh Steelers, F him. I'm just kidding. No hard feelings. He had to go get paid. I didn't appreciate his comments this week about the Baltimore Ravens, but nonetheless. When I look at that situation, I was a bit skeptical about replacing Patrick Queen, coming off the best season of his career and having the best 1-2 punch at linebacker with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen there. But as we have documented on this show many times, Patrick Queen's play did not elevate. He did not really come into his own until he was playing alongside Roquan Smith. And Roquan Smith was kind of taking the pressure off of him, if you will. I think Roquan Smith is a big reason for Patrick Queen's success. So with that said, I say that all to say, replacing Patrick Queen, I think, is going to be easier than people might think. And Trenton Simpson has looked the part throughout these offseason workouts. He looks really good to this point. I liked what he did in that Week 18 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. I think Trenton Simpson's going to win the job. I think he's going to play at a high level, and you're going to like what you see from Trenton Simpson. I think he's ready for prime time to step into that role, and you hope that the Ravens defense doesn't miss a beat, that Trenton Simpson's ready to replace Patrick Queen. I think he'll do a good job. Will he be as good as Patrick Queen? Probably not, realistically speaking, but I don't expect to be a significant drop-off, at least not as much as some people think. What's your confidence level in Trenton Simpson right now? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10, your confidence level at this point. I'm going to go about a 7. I think that's a fair number for a confidence level for Trenton Simpson. What do you guys think? Weigh in the comment section. Last question, Bob the Builder. Can we fix it, Bob the Builder? Yes, we can. How much does Derrick Henry have left in the tank? I think he's got a lot left in the tank, actually. And I'll say this. Think about like the older running backs, if you will, in this league of guys that are the elite tier. And older might not necessarily be the right term here because it's more so experience, if you will. You look at Christian McCaffrey. He's still fantastic. Derrick Henry, last season, behind a bad offensive line in Tennessee, was still fantastic. He was a Pro Bowler and rushed for over 1,100 yards and everything last year. Derrick Henry, I expect big things out of Derrick Henry. And you look at this Ravens rushing attack with him, Lamar Jackson there, the other running backs that they have with Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill and Rasheen Ali. This team's got options in the running back room, and they're not going to overwork Derrick Henry. I think that was one thing that we saw in Tennessee was they relied on him so much that this Baltimore Ravens team, it's going to be easier for Derrick Henry than what he had in Tennessee last year, despite being another year older. I think you're going to be very impressed, and Derrick Henry's going to have a very good year with this Baltimore Ravens offense. Do you believe in Derrick Henry, the new king of Baltimore? Type B for believe, type D for don't. I'm spamming B for believe in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Thanks for joining us here on this mailbag edition of Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for continuing Ravens coverage each and every day on the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. To subscribe now, I'm Tyler Jones, and we will see you next time.